welcome to another video. Today I thought I would share with you what and how I'm planning to start Rosie's official school year in September. Now, I don't want our homeschool to look like school at home. I want it to still be very child-led and reception age. She'd be the youngest in the year if she was going in, because she's an August child, and I was reading the statistics the other day about most August children are more likely to be labelled ADHD and have other issues in school because of the huge age difference between a 5 and a 4-year-old. So I'm very glad we're not sending her, because I've always said to everybody I think she'd be labelled ADHD if she went to school, because she just doesn't like to sit still, and kids aren't made to sit still. So my plan for September is the first week back in school, if we can do it, because we've suddenly had a lot of different things come up for September. Like, I've been called for jury service, so it's going to interrupt our school, and although Daddy's got the 2 weeks off to take her, I'm not sure what he will do with her or whether he'll follow what I've got planned. So I'm planning on taking Rosie around the world. Wish I had the money to do the real thing. So I'll go through with you generally how I'm going to do that now and what I want her learning outcomes to be, and it'll take as many weeks as it takes. So if she gets bored on one country too early, it might not last a week, but if she's fascinated with another country, it might last 2 weeks. So I'll turn you around now and show you what resources I've got. First resource I've got is this Octonauts world map that came out of a CBeebies magazine, which is brilliant for breaking it down into the continents and the oceans. And Rosie likes coming over here, like we watched Madagascar the musical, and I've sent her over to the map and pointed out whereabouts it would be, even though this isn't a specific map. So this is a nice one for the world is made up of 7 continents, and we live in Europe, so we're going to start where we live in Europe. And then Twinkle had this lovely map of Europe with flags, so she's also going to learn the flag country. So we're in the United Kingdom. She'll learn what our flag is. We've already done a project on Wales, so we're going to go over into England, and we will start in England. Now, the very first week back, when they all go to school, if the weather is nice, we might just go to the beach and have a couple of outings and just like look, just so she can see everyone else is stuck in school now, and look at our flexibility, look at how much freedom we have. We can go in, while everyone else is stuck behind a desk, we are sitting on the beach, we are doing this. So we might do that the very first week back, and then we will get back into our projects. So we're going to go over to England first, and then we'll do Scotland and Northern Ireland and Ireland, and trying to explain to her why it's separate and why the Republic of Ireland isn't actually part of the United Kingdom. Then we will travel into Europe, and this is where I haven't planned every country yet. And I'm not sure how I'm going to plan every country yet, but what I do want her to know, and this is my list of things I want her to know, is these are my learning outcomes. So being able to point it out on a map, what continent is it in, what is their flag, what food or dish are they famous for. We're going to listen to their style of music. We're going to watch and maybe dance their traditional dance. We're going to be able to name their famous landmarks, recognise the accent, learn something about the culture. What kind of, houses do they live in? Any important historical info. I was thinking more Egypt with this one, with like Cleopatra and stuff, and I'm just kind of thinking now that maybe we'll do we'll skim over that, and I'll say to her we'll come back and do that. The terrain, so is it hilly, is it flat, is it lots of water, and the climate, so is it mostly cold, mostly hot, and all those kinds of things. So all of my worksheets that I'm going to create or print off or anything like that are going to be based around these questions. So at the end of it, Rosie's got learning outcomes that I know what I want her to be able to remember about each country, which is why some countries will take longer than others, and she's really little, so I don't want to go into a huge amount of depth about each country. She doesn't need to know all about every single country's history at her present age. So, also from Twinkle were all these flag cards. So when we do Iceland, this will be out on her flag. Maybe she'll try and copy it, or she'll at least say what shapes are in there and what colours it uses and things like that. And then when we go across to England, should have done this beforehand really. Twinkle had this lovely resource which I printed out, but my printer started running out of ink, so it's all turned pink at the end. It's got a picture, some writing that I'd read to her, and then the name of what it is. So like she'd have to match, I'd say to her, right, the London Underground, we'll find the picture of the London Underground, and then she'd find it, and then we'd match up the information that goes with it. So that this isn't the information that goes with the London Underground, but she's got some, she might not be interested in this at her age. This might be something she does when she's a little bit older, but this can also be reused when she's older, when she can read, and she can read it for herself and try and match them herself. If we have the money to do it, I might take her to London for the day, but that might be something else that has to wait until she's a little bit older and planned much, much further in advance for saving wise. And then, for example, this is what I'm going to do for each one as well. So I'll do one of these for England. At the moment, I've done Northern Ireland and the Southern Ireland, Republic of Ireland. So she's got the National Day, how big it is, the population, the capital city, major cities, the language, nationality, religions, anthems, currency. I copied this off of lines. Because my printer was low on ink, I copied this off. She can also colour in the pictures at the top if she wants to, although I will do the flags for her so she gets them right, and the national dish. So, going back to this sheet, where is it on a map? Very easy to do. She's going to go and point to a map which we have upstairs in a roll, which I got from Flying Tiger, and she will point her where it is, or learn where it is, and then by the end of learning about that country, she'll be able to just, it's there, mum. What continent is it in, which is one of the first things we'll need to start learning about. We might start learning about that before the end of the summer and before our official school week starts. What is their flag? Well, that will be up for the entire week. I'll have to take this at the moment. Our ceiling still has the Welsh flag on it. So, I've seen some flag bunting, which if I can, we might just make some. I might just make a few to hang up, because otherwise it's going to confuse her which one's which. So when we go over to England, England's flag will go up, even if it's a piece of paper, so that she can see it all week, and then I can mix it up with some other flags and say, well, which one's England's? Famous food or dish, so England's famous for, let's for the sake just now, fish and chips maybe. We're vegans, we can't have the fish, but we might go and eat that, or we might find some vegan fish, and then we'll make and eat the traditional dish. We'll listen to their style of music, so I'm not entirely sure what England's famous for music style-wise. I'll have to look that up. Watch and dance our traditional dance. Yeah, I don't think we have a particularly traditional dance. I know Scotland does, I know Ireland does. So even I've got to learn through this. I've got to educate myself and learn what their traditional dances and things are. Famous landmarks for England are going to be things like the capital city as well. I haven't put that on there. I want her to know what the capital city is, so it'll be London. So the famous landmarks in the capital city will be Big Ben, the Houses of Parliament, the London Eye, and other places in England that are well known, like Stonehenge, White Horse, places like that. The accents, so England's got lots of different accents, so that's going to be, we might have to split England into north, south, and the Midlands. Culture, what we live in is going to be like, we live in houses, we live in flats, apartments, bungalows, some people live in caravans. How our culture is how community based are we and things like that, because some cultures, they're very, very community based. Our terrain, so we're not as hilly as some places, so this is where this isn't going to be as in depth as some of this other stuff, and the climate is the same as Wales really, so we'll just be talking about how the weather is in each country. So we're quite moderate here despite our sudden heat wave this year, I say on one of the rainiest days we've had so far. So I hope that list gives anyone like an idea of, do you know what, I was planning on doing a project of different countries as well. That list is really, really helpful for creating some learning outcomes for my little one. She's going to be 4, so we might not get round to all of it. She might not be interested in all of it. We're still very child-led, very play-led, so that's why it's a lot of pointing to a map. It's a lot of, I'll have a game where I have lots of different laminated flags, or I might even use the ones that I've already done, and she's got to find the right one to go with the country that we're doing. One nearer the end of the week, famous landmarks. At like nearer the end, it'll be like, is the Leaning Tower of Pisa famous for England, Italy, or France? And then she's got to put it in the right place, that kind of thing. That'll be nearer the end. But it'd be fun trying to copy the accents, and like when we do Scotland, CBeebies has Katie Morag and other programmes that are Scottish accent. So I'm looking down to look at my list. Famous landmarks, we'll have a go at drawing, maybe making out of shoeboxes and different things like that. Culture, we'll probably watch a few documentaries or see what we can find on YouTube or maybe Netflix if there's anything on there. And any important historical info may take a back seat, because that might be a completely different topic in itself with how in depth we could go into that. So yes, plan is to start in the UK, over to Europe. I haven't decided yet actually. We'll either hop over to Asia or down to Africa. Whichever one of those we'll do the other one after, and then we'll go to Australia, and then we'll do the United States and South America, and then very, very last, the Antarctic. It's probably going to be the last one we'll do. So yeah, keep following us if you'd like to see how we're going to do that and how Rosie's going to learn and how successful it is, or whether she's interested. If she loses interest partway through, we may abandon it. And we're not going to visit every country. We're going to, like, the ones that people have never heard of, like where, we probably won't do. So we'll do all the really famous cities that are more likely to stick out when people do them. So, but then that's a matter of opinion as well. Like, some people might think Finland's important, and some people might just be like, no, just Europe, just do Spain, Italy and France, Germany. There's a lot of countries in Europe, so yeah, I haven't decided how I'm going to do that yet, so keep following if you would like to see where we go with all that. This could take a whole year, considering how many countries there are and how many weeks, and we will have 6 weeks on, 1 week off, or as needed if we need it. So that is the plan. That is the plan for when we go back to school. I know in my luck, when we go back to school, she'll hate maps. I'll do all the prep, she'll hate maps, and she'll want to do a pirate theme or something. So, but then that is the nature of child-led. So, yes, wish me luck, and good luck with whatever you're going to start with. Comment below if you've got something different or the same. What are you going to start your official school year with, or your next school year with, if you already have a child in one of those years, or if you even use the school year as your basis. So, for now, I shall say ta-ta from me, and if you have any more questions, just put them below and I'll answer them. But for now, it's ta-ta from me and ta-ta from the Rosie Bear.